Hello, welcome to the channel and welcome back to Resurwreck Autos HQ. Today guys, we're continuing with that Ford Fiesta Vignale. This is part 2. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get that gearbox out with no problems. Swap the clutch, put the gearbox back in place and put everything back together. But I'm not going to put everything back on because I still need stuff off to do the timing belt and water pump, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, we'll just see how far we get. I will cut in, cut out. Excuse me. It is early. It is, what's the time? 7:15. So, yeah. I will cut in and out. I'll explain what I'm doing step by step. It's not a how-to guide, but it's just what I'm doing guide, if you know what I mean. I'm sure Dave is sitting there on the beach with a bottle of beer or something on his holidays, watching me fix his car. So, yeah, this is part 2. Let's get cracking. I'll set you straight up on the camera, on the tripod. Let's do this. Right, okay, gearbox is out. A little bit fiddly, and that's the reason. The reason for that is because the dual mass flywheel is so thick on the actual engine. It's it has to come away even further off the actual spline itself. Yeah, you have to sort of. Cool, yeah, can you hear it? Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why we've changed this, is because it's so noisy, or getting noisy, sorry. It's worth just swapping that over. So yeah, we've got to swap that over, put a new one of them in, clean it all up, and then change this side. Let me show you from this bit here. So yeah, there we go, there's the clutch. And pressure plate, and the dual mass flywheel is what I was saying, is that there. You see how thick that is? Look, on the back. Now, they do say that you should change those dual mass flywheels. Whilst you're in here doing all this work, it's worth changing that as well. But they are a serious amount of money. I think, I don't know if Dave's going to keep this further on past next year and past the next financial year. But if he does, then it will be the next time we do the clutch, because he does do some miles on his cars and that he goes through the clutches because he's a driving instructor, you know, and it's just part and parcel of the job. So the students are always fighting with the clutch itself, and it's always going to wear out a little bit more quicker. Do you know what I mean? Than normal driving. So the next time we do the clutch on this, if we do it, if he keeps the car, we're going to be changing the dual mass flywheel on the second time. But the first time, this time, we're just going to change the 3-part clutch. Yeah, that's basically it. So I'm now going to swap this over, take this off, get the new one set in place, do that up, torque it up to what it should be, swap that thrust bearing out of there, put a new one in there, clean it all up. It's not that dirty, I've got to be honest, it's just age-related grime and dirt in it, really. Swap it all over, and then put the box back in, and then that's part of it done for the clutch. So let's carry on. Let's keep going, and then hopefully in today's we can put all this back on. But let's just see how we get on. So yeah, so far so good though, guys. At least the gearbox is out and we can swap it over. So I'm sweating already. It is so hot out there, and it's only 9 o'clock. So, but anyway, let's get cracking, swap it all over, get it back in. That easy. Not. Let's do this. Right, okay, so guys, that is the old clutch off. This is the old one. Original as well. It's a little bit worn, but it's not that bad. Like in some areas, that's quite low, that one there. What you're doing, you're looking for the rivet. You don't want the rivet coming past and sticking past that, otherwise it hits either side. But yeah, that one's quite low. So yeah, it's getting there. I've got to be honest, it's a quite worn clutch. So definitely worth changing it. So we've got an LUK new clutch here. We're going to be swapping it out, changing it over. That as well. So yeah, just want to clean up. Oh, I've done let me show you the thrust bearing as well. So we've all been cleaned out, and I've got a new thrust bearing with a little bit of sort of general purpose grease around the spline, just to help it sort of guide in and stuff like that. Got my little tool, a clutch alignment tool. This thing is so good, and it just lines up. You just put it through. I've done this many times, but you just put it through and you line it up central to the other side. So when you put it through like that, let me just show you on this one. It goes that like that. This actual clutch plate has got to be central to the actual pressure plate. So you get it so that it's all the same way around, and then get that tool, put it from the other side, tighten it up so that's tight, pulling tight against the pressure plate, so it holds it in place. So you know that it's central because it's central to the outside perimeter, diameter and whatever, but it just lines it up absolutely spot on. Like, there's no guesswork, it's there, it's spot on. I've never had a problem doing it this way. This is obviously the flywheel, the dual mass flywheel. It looks all right, I've got to be honest. It doesn't look that worn, so that's good. But I'm going to lock the flywheel with a locking tool that I've got that goes where the starter motor is, which is just in there. You lock it up with in there, and then that way, when I do up the bolts, I can torque it up to the correct. I don't know the settings at the minute for the torque settings. I'm gonna have to check online and see what they are, and then get it all buzzed up to where it should be. And yeah, that should be us done. Once I've done that, we can then put the gearbox back in place, do it all back up, and then yeah, get it all supported on the engine mounts. And then once we've done this side, do it as much as I can for this side, and then we're going to go to this side and do the timing belt, the water pump, and yeah, that part of the engine after we've done this. So, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. It has to get done, and it just takes as long as it takes. At the end of the day, that's what it is. So yeah, I'll set you up on the tripod. Let's get cracking. Let's get this positioned, get that on first, then start getting the gearbox back in place, and then just do the reverse of what we've just done. So let's do this. Right, okay, guys. Believe it or not, it's actually the next day for me. And yeah, I just had to go off quickly yesterday, which was Thursday, to get some family stuff done. So yeah, I couldn't finish off this. So I'm back in here today. It's Friday. I've got the gearbox up into place, and it's pretty close. Just wants a little bit of moving about, but I'm struggling on my own, I've got to be honest, to get this into the right position. Now, the mechanic at the end that normally helps me, and we help each other out, he's away on holiday, so he's not around. He can't help me. So I've got no one here, really, to give me a hand. I've spoke to a good friend of mine, another mechanic. He's been coming over to give me a hand to sort of juggle this in place, get it all in done, and then I can do the bolts up. And then that should be, obviously, the gearbox and the clutch and all that side of it done. But he ain't going to be around for a next sort of couple of hours, he said. So what I thought, if I just start cracking on with this, undoing some plastics and bolts and stuff like that on this side of it, because we've got to do it anyway, and just do whatever I can for the moment, just until he turns up. So that's what I'll do now. I'll start taking off the top end as well now, getting the covers off, getting the cam cover off as well. I want to give that a good clean up. Got some sort of oil leak going on there as well, so I want to give it all a clean up, strip it all down a bit more until he turns up. So yeah, let's it's just sometimes, guys, you know, you just need help. It just that's the bottom line. You cannot do things on your own. You'll end up doing yourself, you know, doing your back in, or doing, you know, causing yourself serious harm, struggling and straining and putting pressure on yourself. So whenever I need help, I always ask for it. It's just the best way to be, really. So yeah, let me set you up on the tripod anyway. Let's get cracking with a little bit more stripping down. Do whatever we can while we wait for him, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, let's carry on. Let's do this. Right, okay guys, I'm just quickly cutting there, just to explain what I've been doing. So you can see now, that's the timing belt. I've got access to it. I've took the cover off this side and took the cam cover off as well, so that we've got good access to it. I'll get it timed up. It's not quite timed up yet. You can see that hole there. That's got to be lined up with this one there that you can see it just there. Look. So that hole there has to move around to line up to that, and then you put a locking pin. You put a pin into that which locks the top cam, and you do the same at the bottom with the lower crank pulley as well. There's another pin that goes into there. Plus, obviously, I'm going to lock the flywheel on this as well through the starter motor access point, so the flywheel will be locked as well when I undo the pulley at the bottom. So yeah, we are definitely moving along. We're gonna do a flush on this engine as well. So it's gonna have an engine flush, engine flush, and oil change completely, and a fuel filter. You can see slightly different to the other fuel filters on the 1.6 TDCI diesel engines. The one previous to this is the Mark 8 1.5 TDCI. So these are slightly different, these fuel filters. This one just come out, you can see how cruddy and horrible it is. So it's definitely worth changing this. Got a new one here, and that's where it sits in there. I did pull the fuel out so I can just give it a good wipe round and a clean in there as well. And yeah, it's just a case of slotting this new one in place like that, and then you just, once you've done that, you just push it down into place. I've put a new rubber here on this, and then just going to put a little bit of rubber grease around that just to help it from just to slide and not sort of catch or twist. And you just pop that back on, connect the hoses back up, and then once it's all ready and back together, not quite there yet, once it's all back together, just ignition on a few times, and it should start. So yeah, but obviously it's well worth changing this fuel filter, definitely. So yeah, we are definitely making some progress. All these bits and pieces that I'm doing now, I had to do it anyway, so there's no point waiting for the guy to turn up to help me do the gearbox and put that back in place. It's just a case of carry on whatever I can do for the moment. But I'll be honest with you, I'm starting to run out of things. So yeah, but let's put all this back together. This fuel filter first. Do whatever I can. Keep going for the moment, and then yeah, we'll get that gearbox in. So let's carry on. Let's do this. Right, okay, so guys, we've done it. He had a special tool that he uses, like a motorbike ramp tool jack. You can get transmission jacks for it and stuff like that, but yeah, he's used to doing it a certain way, and he just thought, do you know what? Even though I've got the gearbox in place quite close, he went, let's just drop it down, start again. I want to have a look at it. He wants to assess it. He wants to have a look at it. I said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Let's go for it. So we ended up taking it back down, got his hydraulic jack thing that he uses to do his gearboxes, and then, yeah, it went in pretty easy. So it's in place, bolts are at the top. I've put a jack underneath. I'm going to leave it like that for today. Go and have a nice weekend. I am in tomorrow, guys. I'm going to show you the next new project, which is outside, which will be starting next week. That's for Mark, another subscriber. But for now, I'm going to leave it as it is. Come back to this Monday and then put it all back together. And we'll do the timing belt and water pump. And then, yeah, see how we go. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you Monday. Take care. Thanks, in.